Take a nice deep breath. Just notice right where you are. Touch something around you. Just be right there. Use your breath, connecting right here. That's where we're connected, you see. And we're always connected there, you see, who we truly are. And people forget, we've all forgotten, but now we're remembering, coming back together in the recognition of our already togetherness. And also recognition of our own unique individuality, you see. Half-truths are always limiting. So when people say God's impersonal, and they don't accept personal, that's not a whole truth. Because the divine would be both personal and impersonal in the sense. Because there's the law, in a sense, of how everything operates by cosmic law, divine law. And then there's also the individual, the person, and whether that person chooses to be in harmony with their divine self and ourselves together, or they choose to, what would you say? Choose to create their own reality where they're, what would you say, more powerful and better than others. And what happens is these worlds are created in the mind, is basically these little imaginations. And so what I want to actually talk about in the topic, and I'm coming a long ways from that, is that you might call it the downside of beliefs. That's kind of it. But everybody's, oh, I believe in beliefs, and if you believe, you could blah, blah, blah. Well, wait a minute. If you take the word apart, belief, it's first of all, be lie. Okay? So you're going to be a lie. Just the word diet has die in it. So you're killing yourself because they know the diet foods don't work anyway. They just, and all some of those oils and stuff they say, or sugars, this is your body temple, and it operates a certain way. And you want to be able to, while you're here now, is to fully remember and activate, realize, and be who you really are fully, without the veils of ignorance. And that comes from recognizing that. And one of the things you want to look at is the way the beliefs, the lies, are, people run their lives on the lies of the how to be lies. And you don't need to be a lie because you are the truth. You see, not your mind, not your thoughts, not the programs, not the scenario, not the script, not any of those things at all, not things. And that self that's who you are. And when you look at beliefs, that we using our senses and the mind, when we perceive something happening around us or wherever we may perceive that from happening, it's there in our perception, then the person and the mind, they make a rule out of it. And then that rule, they have a belief about it. Well, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. They make that belief absolute, like that's the way it always is for everybody, always, forever, and eternally. Really? That's what absolute means. And that's who we are. So then, what happens then with the belief, then you go about proving the belief is true, which you don't know you're doing that, and say, you know, boy, I knew that was true. I saw that one coming. Boy, that's the way it is. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's happening, and that's in your world. But when you perceive patterns, and as you start noticing patterns, you can notice your own patterns. And because most people don't know, well, how did I get into this? One choice at a time in every single moment. And if we're dragging in all kinds of stuff into the now, into the moment, instead of being fresh in every moment as who we are, fully powerful, fully able, then the doubt comes, and the people are in doubt. Well, I'm not good enough, or maybe I can't do that, or they won't let me, and nobody likes me. I'll tell you the other day what happened. I had this realization. When I was about 6 years in the body, about 6 years old, the body was about 6 years old. We're eternal. Anyway, I got this brand new blue Schwinn fat tire bicycle. Wow. My great grandma got that for me. And I was so excited. So that day, went out on the sidewalk and the street and this is up in Bishop, California, and all the kids, that got a bike, and some of the old bikes, maybe we were going to go for a ride. So this boy says to me, he says, "Could I ride your bike?" Well, here I am going, oh, well, okay. Now, I had hardly even ridden it. I was almost at my house. So I said, okay. Now, I don't remember that I was attracted to him or somehow, but he was a guy, and somehow, it was okay. So anyway, no, he doesn't come back for a while. And then I go, well, where's my bike? So I took a walk. There it was, on the curb, laying on the curb, in the street on the curb, with the tires had been run over by a truck. And it was like, oh, no. Now, I made a belief that when you loan something to a boy, a man, they wreck it. Oh, they ruin it. They take good care of their stuff and ruin mine. See, now that's a belief. And you can say, well, yeah, that's true. I know that. Yeah, it's true for you. It was true for me. That's called my truth. That's not an absolute truth. That's your perception. That's the rule you have made for yourself to set you up in these situations being habitual. And then always you've got, well, I knew that. That's the law. That's what, no. So part of how you heal from this artificially intelligent virus, mind virus in a sense, jumping somehow onto our consciousness and being, and then here's this mind, you see. And it then, for that mind to operate, it has to have willing participants in order to broadcast that false reality based on a fear and guilt that the virus has to live off of, you see, to keep us giving our life force. So when you take your soul back, you take your power back, you have to start shifting from here to here. And when you breathe in the oxygen, you breathe into your heart. One good thing in the morning when you're making your coffee, your tea, or whatever soup, breathe in you say, be careful, it gets hot, but breathe in the steam. That's oxygen. Woohoo! That can start cleaning out some of this stuff. People are getting like coughs or different things. Yeah, start cleaning out the mucus in the body. Start cleaning out the intestines in the body, you see. So all of these things that when we actually take our power back is take a look at the beliefs that you have. Where did they come from? What beliefs are you fighting over? If they're written down, somebody wrote that. If you have to, wait a minute. The beliefs aren't you, and they're not me. And when we live from beliefs, we're living from memory. We're living from the projects or the thought forms of the mind virus that we're perceiving as true and real. And I realized, and you know what my realization was and how to do it? It's not about trying to change anybody else. So what I do now is, if I don't want to let it go or give it out, I don't. And if there's something that I want and I want to make sure I have it, I make sure that I have it and it remains the way that I need it. Because, you see, we have to be proactive, not about, it's still being generous in who you are. But when you get rid of a belief, when you spot it and you see it and you notice what it is, sounds, letters, you see, meanings that have been given, It's a program. Drop it. And when you do that, you shift your consciousness and your behavior, owning your power instead of giving it away to others that can only around you fulfill your beliefs. What else can happen? You see. So knowing transcends beliefs. And if there's something you say you want to do or be, you don't have to believe you can do it. You just go do it. Oh, really? One little moment at a time. Yeah. You see. How you get out of time is being in you. Yeah. So you're not a belief. You've been a believer. But that's a be-liar. And a being the lie. Be who you are. Be you to the full. Yeah. Hope you share this with people and live it and share it and own it and allow people, and you suggest people watch these videos. Yeah. Gather in groups to do that, you see, if you want, and with your friends. Discuss the topics and the ideas, you see, and how you can apply them. We are together now. Let's be together, you see.